Morning, everyone. Just a short lesson this morning. So for those of you in class yesterday, we're just kind of building upon that understanding. So all of the questions for today are really just going to ask you to think about what your parabola actually means. So if you take a look at the situation here, I'm telling you that a baseball player threw a ball in the air. I told you its max height. I should actually give you a time. So if he hit the max height of 18 feet after 2 seconds and also hits the points 315 and 46, I want to know how long the ball was in the air for, and I want to know how tall the player was. So if I'm telling you a max height, that should clue you in right away that that's going to be a vertex because it's going to hit the top of the parabola. So when I think about that, if I know this is the vertex and I have two other points, I should be able to make a parabola fit. Then I'm going to be able to answer these next two questions. So typically your priority is find the equation of the parabola first if it's not given to you already. So if we think about this, we know our vertex is at 2, 18. All right, well, at least now I'm going through that point. Now I know I need to flip it upside down. So clearly a positive number in front is not going to be good. So let's make it a negative. All right, at least we're flipped in the right direction. And then I'm just going to take a guess. Let's maybe -2. Let's see. -2 is not good enough. We're close. All right, -3 is the magic A value here. So now we have our parabola that matches the points we know. So now we can go on to answer how long the ball was in the air for. Well, if this is time 0 and it goes all the way over and it lands, well, looks like the ball was in the air for 4.449 seconds. All right, so we've answered the first question there. Next one is how tall is the player? Well, I guess the player's height would happen when the ball first starts its path, which would be at time 0, right? So if I go up and I look at time 0, if the height is 6 feet, then I'm assuming that that player is 6 feet tall. Because if you notice, you have another x-intercept, but that x-intercept is dealing with negative time. So that x-intercept doesn't actually make a whole lot of sense. So if you think about it, the graph that's relevant to us really starts when x is 0. So it's just kind of like cutting off right here when x is 0. This is the starting value for that ball. It goes up in the air. It falls to the ground. We know it's at the ground because the height is 0, and that happens when the x value is 4.449 seconds. So when we're thinking about these things, it's important that sometimes the x-intercept is really relevant, and sometimes we can exclude them because a negative time value doesn't actually make sense. So each of the problems, once again, for today's assignment is really going to ask you to think about what your graph means and what you can tell about the situation. All right, if you have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, good luck.